Remember those articles you sent me about Prozac and infections? Well, get this. It turns out there's a whole lot more to the story than just a quirky side effect.
It is pretty remarkable.
Right.
We're talking about fluoxetine, the generic name for Prozac,
Right.
which most people know as an antidepressant. But this research suggests it might actually be a powerful tool in the fight against infections,
Wow.
especially something as serious as sepsis.
Sepsis.
You already know how dangerous sepsis can be
Yeah.
and how tricky it is to treat.
Uh-huh.
So that's what makes these findings so exciting.
Absolutely. And we've got a research article straight from the source at the Salk Institute,
Right.
their press release, and some coverage from Neuroscience News.
Wow.
So we're going deep on this one for you.
Right.
What blew me away was this idea that fluoxetine can tackle infections on two fronts.
Yeah, it's a real 1-2 punch.
Okay.
The studies done in mice showed that fluoxetine can directly kill bacteria,
What?
act as an antimicrobial agent. But it also helps prevent the immune system from going overboard,
So it does two things.
protecting tissues and organs from the damage that a runaway immune response can cause.
Wait, seriously? So it's not just fighting the infection itself,
Right.
but also stopping your own body from making things worse. I mean, it's like finding out your car can also fly.
That's a great way to put it.
That's crazy.
And the researchers found some pretty compelling evidence to back this up.
Though really.
For example, mice that were given fluoxetine before being infected with bacteria had significantly fewer bacteria in their systems compared to mice that didn't receive the drug.
Okay, that makes sense. Less bacteria, less severe infection.
Right.
But how does it stop the immune system from going haywire?
Well, they found that the mice treated with fluoxetine had higher levels of a molecule called IL-10.
IL-10.
Think of IL-10 as a peacekeeper in your immune system.
Okay.
It helps to calm things down and prevent that damaging overreaction we see in sepsis.
So it's like fluoxetine is giving the immune system a chill pill at the same time that it's taking out the trash. That's incredible.
Exactly, and this dual action benefit, tackling the pathogens and protecting against immune damage, is what makes this finding so potentially groundbreaking.
Wow.
It could be a game changer in how we treat infections,
Yeah.
particularly serious ones like sepsis.
Okay, so that's already mind-blowing. But then there's this whole thing about serotonin.
Yes.
Right. I remember reading something about that.
Oh, yes, that's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
You see, fluoxetine is an SSRI, which stands for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Okay.
As you probably know, this basically means it increases the levels of serotonin in the brain,
Right.
which is how it helps with depression.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the kicker. The researchers discovered that fluoxetine's protective effects against infection seem to be completely independent of its effects on serotonin.
Hold on, what? So even if it wasn't messing with serotonin levels, it was still fighting infection? But how is that even possible? Isn't that what it's supposed to be doing?
It's a real head-scratcher, isn't it? And that's what makes this discovery so exciting.
Wow.
They found that even in mice that didn't have any circulating serotonin, fluoxetine was still effective at fighting infection and preventing that dangerous immune overreaction.
Wow.
It's like it has this secret weapon that no one knew about.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So are we looking at a future where doctors are prescribing Prozac for infections? I mean, this is pretty wild.
It's definitely an intriguing possibility, but it's important to remember this research is still early. We're
Yeah.
talking about studies in mice. So there's a long way to go before we see fluoxetine being prescribed for sepsis in humans.
Right, of course. But still, the possibilities are huge. It's like science fiction becoming reality. I remember when you first told me about this, I was completely floored.
I know, it's pretty remarkable, and it really highlights the potential of drug repurposing. You know, we often think of medications as having these very specific, you use this drug for this condition, that drug for that one. But this research suggests there might be hidden potential in drugs we already use, just waiting to be discovered.
So we could be sitting on a gold mine of new treatments without even realizing it. Are there other examples of this kind of thing happening?
Absolutely. There are actually quite a few success stories when it comes to drug repurposing. For example, thalidomide, a drug that was tragically linked to birth defects in the 1950s, was later found to be effective in treating certain types of cancer and leprosy. And sildenafil, originally developed for jays, and Gina is now better known as Viagra, a treatment for erectile dysfunction.
Wow, I had no idea. So what you're saying is that there could be all these other drugs out there with hidden talents just waiting for someone to connect the dots.
Exactly. Think about it. Fluoxetine's been around for decades. Millions of people have taken it, and yet it's only now that we're beginning to understand its full range of effects. This really underscores the importance of continued scientific research and exploration.
I guess it's a reminder to never stop asking questions and looking for connections in unexpected places. It makes you realize that the world of medicine is constantly evolving and there's always something new to learn.
Absolutely, and this research also highlights how different fields of study are interconnected. We often think in silos: mental health, infectious diseases, immunology, but in reality, these areas are all intertwined. A discovery in one field can have ripple effects across others.
Like that saying, when a butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil, it makes you realize that even small discoveries can have huge implications down the line.
Exactly, and that's what's so exciting about this fluoxetine research. It's not just about potentially finding a new treatment for sepsis, it's about challenging our assumptions and opening up new avenues of inquiry.
It makes you wonder what other surprises are lurking out there, just waiting to be uncovered. But what does this all mean for you, the listener? What's the big takeaway here?
I think the key takeaway is that this discovery underscores the importance of scientific curiosity and the potential for unexpected breakthroughs. It's a reminder that we shouldn't underestimate the power of research to challenge our assumptions and open up new possibilities.
I love that. And I think it also reinforces the idea that we should never be afraid to question conventional wisdom and to look for connections between seemingly unrelated things. I mean, who would have thought that an antidepressant could help fight infections? It's incredible.
It really is, and it's discoveries like this that push the boundaries of scientific understanding and lead to innovation.
Okay, but back to those articles you sent. You were curious about Prozac's effect on infections. What surprised you the most about all this? Did anything jump out at you as particularly relevant to your interests?
You know, this whole conversation reminds me of that famous Louis Pasteur quote:
Oh, yeah.
"Chance favors the prepared mind."
Right.
It's about being open to the unexpected, recognizing those little observations that others might miss, and having the knowledge to connect the dots and make groundbreaking discoveries.
It's like stumbling onto a hidden doorway in a familiar room. You have to
Mm.
be paying attention to even notice it's there.
Exactly.
And then who knows what you'll find on the other side.
And maybe this deep dive will spark that kind of curiosity in you.
Yeah.
Maybe it will lead you to explore a new area of science or ask a new question that nobody else has thought of before.
That's what's so cool about these deep dives.
Yeah.
They're not just about absorbing information.
Wrong.
They're about igniting that spark of curiosity and wonder.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's how all the best discoveries happen, right? Someone gets curious, starts
Mhm.
digging, and bam, suddenly we see the world in a whole new way.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, I think it's time to leave you with a final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
One that builds on what we've discussed and what piqued your interest in these articles in the first place.
Okay, hit me with it.
We've seen how a drug like Prozac, originally intended to target brain chemistry, can have these unexpected effects on infections. So here's the question.
Okay.
If fluoxetine can surprise us like this, what other hidden potential might be lurking within the medications we already use? Could there be a whole treasure trove of unexpected benefits waiting to be discovered?
Whoa, that's a big one. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What if we're just at the tip of the iceberg in understanding what these drugs can do? What other secrets are they hiding?
It's a question worth pondering, and it underscores the importance of continued research exploration and, as we said, a healthy dose of scientific curiosity.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Remember, keep asking those questions and stay curious. You never know what amazing discoveries you might stumble upon.